Long, long ago in Scotland, there lived a woman, and she said to her husband, "If ever I hear a wee boy, I'm going to call him a great big, long, huge name." And her husband says, "What do you want to call him a long name for?" He says, "Well, if your name's Willie, Jim or Rob, you're not going to be famous. But if you've got a long, special name, then you'll grow up to be famous because of your name." And a year later, she has a wee boy, and her husband says to her, "And what are you going to call this wee boy?" She said, "I'm going to call him Hi-ho-rickety, rum-tum-tickety, hi-diddly-adam, Rum Scum Scoosh." He says, "My goodness, that's more like a disease, not a name." She says, "Well, he'll be famous because people will remember a name like that." So she takes him to the minister to get christened, and the minister said, "What are you calling this wee boy?" She said, "I'm going to call him Hi-ho-rickety, rum-tum-tickety, hi-diddly-adam, Rum Scum Scoosh." He says, "My goodness, there's not enough water to baptise somebody a name that length. Could you say it slowly? Hi-ho-rickety, rum-tum-tickety, hi-diddly-adam, Rum Scum Scoosh." And a year later, she has got another wee boy. But she says to her husband, "I've got a wee boy with a fancy name, so I don't need another one. So I'll just call this one Poe." This is the story of Hi-ho-rickety, rum-tum-tickety, hi-diddly-adam, Rum Scum Scoosh, and his brother Poe. Now, these two wee laddies, as they were growing up, were very ill-tricked wee laddies, and they lived in a town where there was a great big wall round the town, and the idea of the wall was to keep the people in, because out with this wall there was a people called the Bogles, and the Bogles were a very, very wild, hairy people, and if the Bogles caught hold of you, then they would keep you for ransom, and they would charge an arm and a leg to get you back. But these two wee boys knew a way how to breach through the city wall, and they often, deliberately, used to play into the land of the Bogles. And one day while they were playing, they were unaware that there was a big, fat, hairy Bogle hiding behind a bush. And when they were playing, this big, fat, hairy Bogle came, grab! And he gets a hold of Poe, and Poe's roaring, "Hi-yelp, hi-yelp, hi-yelp." So, while the Bogles pulling Poe away, if you were caught by the Bogles, you would have to run back through the wall and go up a high, high tower where an old dozy man would ring the bell. But this old man was sleeping, so it meant that Hi-ho-rickety, rum-tum-tickety, hi-diddly-adam, Rum Scum Scoosh had to run back through the wall, run up this high tower, and waking up the old man, said, "Emergency, emergency, my brother Poe's in capture with the Bogles. Can you please hurry up and ring the bell so the soldiers will come and rescue him?" Fat. Says, "An emergency, emergency, my brother Poe's in capture with the Bogles. Can you please hurry up and ring the bell so the soldiers will rescue him?" "What on earth are you saying, loon?" "My brother Poe has been captured by the Bogles. Could you please hurry up and ring the bell so the soldiers will rescue him?" "Could you speak in English? I can't understand what you're saying." "My brother Poe has been captured by the Bogles. Could you please hurry up and ring the scabby bell so the soldiers will rescue him?" "So you want me to ring the bell? Why should I? Because that's your job. You're the bell keeper." "Well, who gave you permission to go out amongst the Bogles?" "We didn't. We're just boys and we're all tricked." He said, "Well, I suppose if I have to, I have to." And he's a slow old man. He takes his time. He's missing the bell string. And finally he rings the bell. Doing, doing, doing. And his soldiers all go running out, and they manage to capture Poe by the skin of his teeth. And when he came back, his parents weren't very happy. And his mother says, "Hi-ho-rickety, rum-tum-tickety, hi-diddly-adam, Rum Scum Scoosh, and Poe, come over here." And she comes scudding along. And scudding along. "You've been naughty wee boys. How dare you do that, shifting our hearts like that?" So after they got a luggy, they were off a good wee boys for about a month. and as boys tend to be boys, they went back into the land of the bogles to play again. And this time, unaware that behind a bush there was a big, fat, hairy bogle waiting to pounce on them. And then he came, grab! And this time he gets a hold of Hi-ho-riggedy rum-tum-tiggedy heady-lam Rum Scum Scoosh, and he's roaring, hi-yelp, hi-yelp, hi-yelp. So that means Poe now has to run back through the wall, go right up to the high tower where the old man is sleeping. He says, help, an emergency, my brother, hi-ho-riggedy rum-tum-tiggedy heady-lam Rum Scum Scoosh, I'm captured with the bogles, please hurry up and ring the bell so the soldiers will capture him. Fat. An emergency, my brother, hi-ho-riggedy rum-tum-tiggedy heady-lam Rum Scum Scoosh, I'm captured with the bogles, please hurry up and ring the bell so the soldiers will rescue him. Dinna ken what you're saying, man. Can you speak in English? My brother, hi-ho-riggedy rum-tum-tiggedy, hey, diddly-adam, Rum Scum Scoosh has been captured by the bogles. Could you please hurry up and ring the bell so the soldiers will rescue him? So, you want me to ring the bell. Why should I? Because that's your job. You are the bell keeper. Who gave you permission to go out there? I didn't get permission. We're just boys. Oh, well, then it's your own fault if you get captured. I don't see why I have to ring the bell. But I suppose I'll have to. And he takes his time. And finally he rings the bell and the soldiers all come running out. But they're too late because hi-ho-riggedy rum-tum-tiggedy heady-lam Rum Scum Scoosh has been captured by the bogles. Now, if you were captured by the bogles, it meant you had to wait till you got a ransom note asking you, usually for 1,000 pieces of gold, which was just a king's ransom. And his parents, in order to get this money, they had to sell all their furniture, give up their holiday, and beg, steal, borrow to get this money. And they put themselves into a heap of debt. And finally they got enough. So the day came when the bogles took hi-ho-riggedy rum-tum-tiggedy heady-lam Rum Scum Scoosh back to his parents. And his mother wasn't very happy. And she came, hi-ho-riggedy rum-tum-tiggedy heady-lam Rum Scum Scoosh, and Poe, come over here. Scudding along. And scudding along. She said, you naughty boys, this is the second time you've did it. She says, don't you realise I called you a long fancy name so you would become famous, but instead of being famous, you've brought shame upon us. So from now on, I'm not going to give you the long fancy name of hi-ho-riggedy rum-tum-tiggedy heady-lam Rum Scum Scoosh. I'm going to cut your name short, and from now on, you're only going to be called Hi. And that is the story of Hi and Poe. And many parents certainly know all about hypo children.